Why not? Why not be the reaction to patch notes? I would install a patch on Steam. You push the play button. Build Spotlight. All right, double XP for the Lunar New Year. That's kind of cool for co-op players, which I do like. The double XP on top of doing mutation, I think, is what's gonna power me through the Orlana stuff. Patch notes, various tooltip fixes. I love it. I've been wanting more. I've been wanting more detail in tooltips. I want to see solid numbers, not just decreases opponents' attack speeds. Like, all right, by how much? Uh, the vector's delta jump ability will now appear at the player's cursor location instead of blinking to the center of a targeted unit. Interesting. Fixed an issue where casting solar charge while selecting multiple solar habitats did not work as expected. Okay, that's nice. Castiel's collection array now issues a move command when using right mouse click. Okay. Fix an issue where the throat rip ability was not tied to the volume mixer. Okay. MMR, things are getting reset. I know about that. Rebalancing queue timers. I know this has been a bit of a back and forth just because you still want to get into a match, but you don't want to get stomped by the person that's 1,000 MMR higher than you. Hey Gators, blah blah blah. Okay, so here's the philosophy. I'm gonna try and keep this in the back of my head the entire time. What they want to do: create exciting moments and be clear, simplifying mechanics and making them easier to understand. Simplifying mechanics, I think, gets me a little bit, chicken squinting gif, because to me that sounds like autocast. Autocast is meant to simplify things, but that's also how we ended up with the debilitate machine gun that is the Cabal. Okay. Oh, Jex also teased in the Discord that this is going to be a huge economy patch. So big economy changes. Max Luminite income per base across all three factions increased from 600 to 750 per minute. That is people are going to be banking. People are going to be banking. One of the things that I see a lot of players make mistakes on in the lower leagues is not spending their money. I think this will exacerbate the issue maybe a little bit, but that's okay. If it was an issue that was already happening, then they're not spending that money anyway. But maybe they will. Okay, increased starting bobs, increased the amount of luminite they get to multiples of 5, which is nice. Multiples of 6 is a little unfamiliar, but it's okay. So increasing the Therium mining time, 7.2 seconds is very specific. I would love to see the I kind of wish we got like the blurb underneath of this to know like why they changed Bob Therium mining time. Same for Infernals, the exact same, even though they need the Therium more. But it looks like it's the exact same. Yep, 8 to 10, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7.2. Okay, Celestial Economy. Starting prism count increased from 1 to 2. I don't like it. I still think the Celestial starting unit needs to be the scanner. Just because having flying units that can make arrays is... And by the way, this is another reaction where I'm just going in blind. I haven't not completely blind. I did check out a couple of these things, but I haven't had much time to really ponder them. So there are some of these things that are still going to be new to me. Some of these things I've already seen. Prisms can no longer directly mine from Luminite mines, but must instead enhance an already constructed collection array. Okay, I like it. Prisms enhance mine for 50 additional income. Each prism effectively adds 150 Luminite per minute. Previously, Prism added 75. Okay. Max number of prisms decreased from 4 to 3. Okay, that's what I was getting a little worried with that first paragraph, but this soothes my jimmies. Collection rate, gathering rate stays the same. Okay. Prisms now build from deployed collection arrays rather than arc ships. So no building prisms from arc ships. That will also be interesting because I know, at least speaking to Oriel, he was saying that he usually builds 2 arc ships, one for morph cores, one for prisms. But if they're coming straight out of the collection arrays, that actually does make a lot more sense. Clogging up the arc ship production with prisms that gets in the way of building morph cores seemed a little bit odd to me. Prisms are now more expensive. Okay. They cost more supply, which I don't know that that's gonna. I would be interested to see why this was done. Celestials almost never get to a maxed out supply army, and they start off with 300 supply anyway. So I don't know what that's about. Increased prism build time. All right. Prisms can now return Therium to deployed collection arrays, in addition to arc ships and Therium purifiers. So really, the collection arrays are almost becoming the command structure for the Celestials, resource-wise. Like if you can return Therium and get Luminite from the same structure, that's basically a command structure. Outside of the fact that it can't get upgraded. Purifier now costs 25 more Luminite. Morph cores now obey combat unit rally points rather than worker rally points. I like it. It'll cause people to be a lot more careful about misrallying stuff. Okay, so they do want to increase the pace of the early game, accelerate the pace of the game so that it goes from 0 to 60 a lot faster, and streamline and balance specific Celestial mechanics. I'm going to skip that paragraph because you can all read and you can all go to the patch notes yourself. Collection array income is disproportionately high compared to Prism income. Oh man, no space after the period. Looking at you, Jex. This imbalance caused Celestial economies to spike significantly. I'm just kidding. By the way. Well, we appreciated that a mass collection array strategy was viable, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, mass collection arrays were really good. Prism Ethereum was too high compared to other factions. So prisms are now more expensive. And the other factions are mining Ethereum better. Okay, that's why. Because the prisms didn't get the Ethereum mining buff. I get it. Other balance changes. So yeah, they are definitely aware of the matchup win percentage. Even 52 for me, I think, is quite a bit. But man, Vanguard versus Celestial was huge. So I did see this one. Actually, you know what? We will read these paragraphs here. Win rates look pretty good overall with the exception of VVC, which I believe was affected by the changes to hedgehogs in the previous patch. Additionally, players have frequently highlighted two issues: the relative imbalance of Celestial economy. All right, we already talked about that, and Vanguard's ability in punishing more greedy strategies. Below are the balance-related adjustments were including in this patch. So they make hedgehogs. Oh, they're making both exos and hedgehogs less anti-heavy and more flat damage-y. No changes to overall damage to heavy from the hedgehog. It is squishier though, which I think is good. I think it was a little bit too tanky for. I mean, I agree with that one triangle where it's like you can have a unit be fast, DPS, or tanky. You can't have all three. But right now, I think the hedgehog is a little bit too fast for the amount of damage it does, as fast as it can like go in, hit, and get away. Exo, okay, the Exo's a little bit tankier, so it's gonna be not as that'll be interesting to see how it gets affected by Hellborn stuff. Damage changed from 12 plus 6, total of 18, to 14 plus 3, total of 17. So a slight damage nerf there for the Exo. In the last patch, we adjusted hedgehogs to make them more specialized against heavy units, enabling Exos to counter them more effectively in direct engagements. However, this left Vanguard with limited options against early game Kree openings. As a result, we'll be reverting the specific hedgehog adjustment and instead addressing the issue through more changes to the Exo. Looking ahead, plan to shift our design philosophy over the next few patches. Interesting, they're shifting design philosophy over the next few patches. The goal is to reduce the specialization of Tier 1 units while focusing on making higher tier units more specialized and impactful. I do like that. I like that for Tier 1 units, but that means that you need to differentiate between the units that are actually tier 1 and the ones that aren't. I don't want to reinvent the Marine and put Exo on like actual tier 1, but right now the tech path to get to Exos is almost identical as it is to get to. It takes the same number of steps to get to Exos as it does to get to Hedgehogs. So not only are they both anti-heavy, but they both unlock from a building that is built after the barracks. Nothing like if you want Hedgehogs to be pure tier 2, fine, keep them at the mech bay. If you want Exos to be tier 1 or tier 1.5, they have to come out sooner. They have to be able to come out sooner than the Hedgehogs. Historically, we believe a large part of the V is beaten by Infernal. Vanguard beats Infernal, beats Celestial, beats Vanguard triangle we've had in the past few months is due to how hard the tier 1 units counter each other. Agree. Lancers kick way too much ass against the Infernal tier 1 stuff. And the game can't stabilize effectively. By delaying these harder counters to later tiers, we aim to make the early game more focused on unit quantity and strategic usage rather than unit types. Yeah, I like that. You know what actually might solve the Exo and Hedgehog dilemma here is have a tier 1 structure that produces Exos. Kind of like the same way that the Conclave and the Iron Vault are both tier 1. Make something similar for Exos tier 1. Hornets, Skymine is now free. Okay. Helicarrier now costs more. Wow, 75 more Therium, or 75 more Luminite and 125 more Therium. Holy smokes. Now, all right, starts with 3 bombers built. I like that. Yeah, it's not, having to click the bomber button 3 times on unit creation is not fun. And it also takes longer to build. I like it. These unit changes aim to bring players to the fun more quickly. This is taking 15 seconds longer. But I guess it comes out with 3 bombers, so it's, I guess, more quickly. I don't know. I haven't seen helicarriers built in 1v1s in tournaments in a little bit. Gaunts, okay, I'm very interested in this. Not because I'm an Infernal main or anything. Ground weapon acquisition range increased from 79. So I think this just means that it decides on which target it's going to hit. Oh, okay. Yeah, it decides on which target it's going to hit from a further distance now. Hexen. Okay, I've seen a lot of Venom Trap plays lately, and I really want to see the Hexen come into its own as a spellcaster, but we don't see Miasma used that much anymore. So Miasma. This is the Miasma patch, boys. Decrease from 60 to 50. I like it. Cooldown decrease from 15 seconds to 2 seconds. Oh my gosh. So at full energy, it's going to be able to cast Miasma twice in 2 seconds. No longer requires channeling. No longer drains energy during channeling. Well, yeah, this kind of makes sense if it doesn't require channeling anymore. Now has a 5-second... I wonder what the cast time is, though. It says it doesn't require channeling anymore, which I get, but it doesn't talk about cast time. Now has a 5-second fixed duration, down from potentially infinite. Okay. Yeah, I like that. This is basically Infernal Psystorm, or Infernal Dark Prophecy. Miasma effect delay time decreased from 1.5 seconds to 1 second. Yeah, I did. We received feedback that Miasma was overly nerfed and players missed the positional play provided by Hexens. Yes, I missed having an Infernal spellcaster. That wasn't just like, okay, my Skull of Shedda is going to infest, but it's obsolete by, minute 5 or 6. Arc Fortress, Fate's End damage reduced. I love it. Energy cost reduced. No. Fate's End. If you're gonna have it do massive damage, have it be more expensive. I would say you want to have it be 100. I think it should cost a lot more, and then like that's just I mean, because Celestials get a bunch of energy from their power banks anyway. Um, it was designed to snipe enemy command structures. Um, so it's better against other structures, but worse against shrines. Okay, so I get that with the cooldown. Basically, it's you have to kill that arc fortress in 20 seconds, or else it's going to nuke down whatever your command structure is. Morph Core's decreased health is huge, I think. Making them a lot squishier means that they're going to be. You're not going to want to use them to do damage. And I really hope this. I want to see what all the big brains in Stormgate come up with when it comes to what Morph Core rushes look like on Jagged Maw now. If Jagged Maw doesn't have to worry about Morph Core rushes anymore, I say bring it back into the map pool. Argent changed from 8 plus 4 to heavy to 10 plus 3 to heavy, so a slight nerf. But again, that's following their design philosophy to make tier 1 units more um, bland is the wrong word, but less specialized. There we go. High energy bonus got nerfed as well. Man, Argent's getting the nerf stick. Charge damage changed from 16, 24 versus heavy to 15, 19.5 versus heavy. Interesting. So it's no longer the anti-tank weapon that it used to be. But also the disparity between a charged shot and an uncharged shot isn't as bad, which I do like. Like no one wants to have an army full of Argents that don't have energy, and then like watching the water balloon fights was just I don't know. I would catch myself looking at my watch like, all right, this will finish any day now. Longshot module is cool. Oh, nice, and it affects the damage bonus from high energy. I like this. I like that they're adding things to the later tier upgrades. Yeah, so you can still get up to that, like, this is not quite 23, but versus the 24 before. So you can kind of get yeah, it does make the Argent less pointed, more all around. Okay, I like that. Scanner no longer requires arc station. Good. I personally thought last patch that the scanner should be the Celestial starting unit instead of the Prism, in order to not only give Celestials early scouting, which they don't really have right now, as well as tempering their eco. Want to grant Celestials more easy scouting at tier 1, especially in the mirror. Cabal. Okay, yep, totally agree. Gravity flux duration decreased from 6 seconds to 4 seconds. I don't think that fixes the issue. I think it needs to be more expensive to cast. Not just against Vulcans, but like Cabal are so cheap that you can spam them out, and like once you get like 10 Cabal, it doesn't matter that the flux time is 4 seconds. You're still lifting a ton of hedgehogs into the air. Like you're still lifting so much DPS into the air. You need to either make it cost more or have the cooldown be a lot longer. That on top of the fact that it's already the debilitate machine gun is just the Cabal is too busted right now. Vector anti-air weapon range. Whoa, the range increased by 2. That's actually really nice. The Vector did have like it was a little bit too close of a range. It was basically like a not quite. It was an almost melee unit. Scythe is a little bit faster now. Scythe is because they wanted to catch up to Flayed Dragons. I did read that before. Okay, Seraphim. I've always been complaining about Seraphim coming up in the like way too late in the tech tree after Celestials have after they already have Evolution Catalyst. So Condemnation creep damage increased from 200% to 300%. Okay. Creep Bane guard damage reduction increased from 50% to 75%. Oof. Okay, so maybe we will see them used. Let's see what the philosophy is here. The Seraphim wasn't impactful enough in its intended role to justify its usage. We believe it could be significantly strengthened without becoming overpowered. We'll see. Particularly given the reduced importance of creeps in this patch compared to the standard mining economy. While this is not a large patch, we believe the economic changes. Yeah, I definitely agree. Economic changes were huge here. And adjustments in balance will have significant impact on how the game feels. We're resetting the ranked ladder and we'll be keeping a close eye on how the three factions perform. Be sure to leave feedback. Underline, bold, single hashtag in Discord. Be sure to leave feedback on Discord or Steam. They can't make the game better without feedback. Just hate posting in Reddit isn't doing it. Feedback, like good feedback, not just make the game better. And let us know how the game feels after these changes go live. Awesome. Yeah, cool. I'm very excited to be casting a lot more of these games. The only thing, I love the economy changes. I kind of like the I don't know how I feel about the helicarrier. Again, I never really saw the helicarrier changes. I like kind of flattening out the niches that the tier 1 units fill, just so that they're not overly specialized. I still want them to be relevant late game. I hope that turns into upgrades of some kind. The Exo already has 2 upgrades, but the Hedgehog only has 1, so I think there's room to add another upgrade, maybe to increase anti-heavy damage. Just to kind of like separate them out a little bit more. But yeah, so eco changes are good. I just the Cabal is such a problem right now. I wish we'd have seen more. And it'll also be really interesting to see how Celestial eco changes. But yeah, that's all I've got for the patch notes for now. Stick around and or don't. I'm on Twitch. Later, guys.